Gotta say, I came into this car with more than a little apprehension. But hey, it has surprised me. And not in the ways that I expected. I'm Jim, this is Carlist, and I've been driving this black baby over here for a couple of days now. I'm in Desaru, the sky is blue, and this is the car that took me here, the MG5.
Launched back in early October to apparently a lot of hype. Selling price is 94,000 ringgit, but that's a 7,000 ringgit early bird rebate. That knocks it down to 87,000 ringgit. Thing is, MG never stated how long this early bird rebate will last, so it could be forever. That's what I would do if I were them, and this isn't even CKD yet, bro.
Actually, there are quite a few people that I did not expect to ask me about cars suddenly ask me about this one. Is it any good? Let's find out.
Fun fact, this color in Malaysia is called nuclear yellow, but in Australia it is called royal yellow. Either way, it is the most popular color option, maybe obviously because it's all in the marketing. Starting with the main moments I had with this car, but this happened before the drive, the dimensions. The biggest B segment sedan, almost C segment, almost Civic size, which is the C segment benchmark level, let's be honest. A couple of millimeters shorter from end to end, but taller and wider than the Honda.
No hydraulic lift, but it came launched in Malaysia with a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine with 114 PS and 150 Newton meters of torque, pulling a car the same size roughly as a Honda Civic, made it to a CVT.
Sitting inside put, it doesn't really feel exactly bigger than the Civic. It feels B segment. We have leather with red stitching on the seats. You can have 7-inch driver's display flanked by semi-digital readouts, kind of like the Prototype 70. And in the center, you get a 10.25-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wired, a 360 cam, 2 USB-A ports, a decent amount of storage, and hey, look, a sunroof. Gotta have that, right?
But the driver-oriented stuff actually goes quite hard because you notice certain things. The red stitching, first of all, the better-than-average driving position, all these buttons, and even the screen over here. The screen is perched, but it's angled toward the driver, and so are these buttons, and so is the air conditioning vents in the center, leaving the passenger side a little bit warmer than the driver. Then you have the fastback roofline and the styling and everything. It becomes clear who MG is actually positioning this car for. The younger crowd, the guy crowd, the guys or the girls who like the sportier looking car or the sportier feeling car. And the thing is, if that 87k price of the, minus the rebates and everything, 87k for the early bird, if that never goes away, this is a lot of car for your money. At least dimensionally, you can't get a better deal for this amount of car with this amount of spec for that money. What about USPs though, okay? The thing is, this car does have at least two that I can think of, because in the B segment class, you don't get, well, number one, you don't get a sunroof. This is the only car with a sunroof, and this is the only B segment car with 6-way power adjustment for the driver's seat at least. So yeah, is that important to you?
Look at this, man. Thanks to a wheelbase of 2,680mm, about 2 cm shy of the Corolla's wheelbase, you do get quite a lot of legroom. This isn't Honda levels of legroom though, because they use some kind of voodoo, witchcraft, ajaran sesat, somehow give you D segment levels of legroom in a B segment sedan, the City. But this, in the MG5, it really isn't bad in here. Quite a lot of space.
Oddly, you don't get a center armrest, which you do get in the Prototype 70 and the Honda City. You only get a single air conditioning vent that only point in one direction, a single USB-A slot, and when it comes to folding rear seats, it doesn't have 50-50 or 60-40 split. It has all or nothing. And the boot, surprisingly, isn't that big. Prototype 70 and the Honda City has a 500-litre boot around there. And this one is 400 litres, 401 litres. Even the Toyota Vios, with a fastback design as well, is bigger, 475 litres. But at least, unlike the Vios, this car has fold-down seats. The Vios doesn't have that at all. Fixed seats. At low speeds, okay, this car really could use a turbocharger and a better CVT calibration, because off the line, it really takes a long time to get off the line, to be honest. If you're gonna line this car up against, I don't know, Toyota Vios, definitely not the S70 because it'll get crushed. Yeah, against the Honda City, the Vios, Almera kalah lah kot. Tapi against the naturally aspirated cars, City, Vios, I think this is the slowest of the bunch, to be honest. And that's because of the CVT's reluctance to just pick up its skirt and go at low revs. It just doesn't know where the power band is at low speeds. And there isn't any pedal shifters, although it does have 8 virtual ratios, which I can only access from sport mode. If I shift from D, push it to S over here, push it to the side, it just gives you more revs more of the time. It doesn't feel like the car is actually getting any faster. But I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on the car, because this car handles really quite fairly. But if you just look at it from a handling perspective, the S70 handles better than this and is much, much faster for the same money. So, and that's the thing. In terms of market positioning, I don't think if MG can afford to just continually forever have that rebate, have that 7,000 ringgit rebate to take this car down to 87k, then this is a real steal. Then this will distance itself very cleanly from the Proton S70. And then you have a real fight on our hands, because this car's USP, the spec sheet is really, really strong. And with just a few adjustments, you can make this car as fun to drive as it looks. And maybe even just as fast to drive as it looks. Because if you had a turbocharged engine in this car, tak tahu lah. It's going to be one hell of a deal if they do put a turbo engine in this car. But as it stands, I like driving this 1.5 NA. I find it more refined, actually, than the Honda City punya IV Tech, which is weird. The CVT is not a question lah, because the CVT in the Honda lagi is just more accomplished. It's better tuned. It's more attuned to what the driver wants. It's smoother. It's smarter. As far as, you know, a 4-cylinder mated to a CVT can sound, this doesn't sound bad. And I give it props for that, because a lot of cars do sound rough. I was just in the Peugeot 408 and it did sound rough. This car does have a nice kind of tone, kind of like auditory tone to it. It's okay. It might not be living up to the expectation that you set in your own mind based on how you saw it in the flesh or in pictures at first, because this car is striking. Okay, on looks alone, if you want to gaya, this car is the most gaya. In the B segment, this car is the most gaya, in my opinion. Okay, especially you get it in one of those bright colors. The nuclear yellow isn't my bag, but if you get it in the red, this color, this black over here, memang chud. Very nice car to look at. You park it up somewhere, and maybe you know what, you lower this car. If you want to have it handle really, really well, you want to put coilovers, go ahead and do it. You lower the car, put some spacers, make the wheels nice and flush. The wheels look damn nice, but it's just a little bit too inboard with the body. Make the stance just more refined, more aggressive. Then this car would be terpaling gaya lah, I would say. In Australia, they gave this car a lot of flack for not including a lot of the things, a lot of the safety features that, I don't know, they have over there that would make this car a lot more expensive. So they chose to make this car, to sell the MG5 in Australia at a more cut price, to kind of meet a certain certain gap in the market. I've got nothing against the way this car is built or the way this car feels. I think it would handle an impact pretty respectfully. But also, this car does have MG Pilot and the full suite of MG Pilot with one big glaring fat omission, which is AEB. Okay, you do get blind spot monitoring. You do get a 360 camera, which is okay. You do get rear cross traffic alert. You do get, what else do you get? You get the rest of it, basically. But you don't get active cruise, and you don't get AEB, which to me is like the cornerstone, the keystone, the marquee, the tent pole, main attraction feature, and potentially most life-saving feature of any ADAS suite. Tak kisah is Honda Sensing, tak kisah is Toyota Safety Sense ke tak apa. MG Pilot, where is your AEB? Why is there no AEB? I think that's a bigger deal to me than whatever Australia thinks of its crash tests. Okay, but overall, this car is a lot of car for your money. If you can get it at that rebated price of 87,000 ringgit, my God, you know what you're getting at. You're getting a car that is almost the same size as a Honda Civic. Almost the same size. You can comfortably sit 5 people, 5 adults in this car. On a long road trip, like I took the Desaru yesterday, I'm going back to KL today. It was comfortable, it was quiet, it felt very stable, even though we were going at not so legal speeds. It felt could keep up with traffic. Just at low speeds, this car just feels a little bit gutless. But that could be fixed. That could be fixed with gearbox calibration. You just have to ask the gearbox to find the right power band. Just familiarize yourself with the power band at low speeds, and then this car can get off the line cleanly and just with more punch. And then that'll be sorted out. And then you have a car that is actually fun to drive. I like driving a slow car. You have to wring it out, rev it all the way, and the noise put okay. That rhymed. That is a lot of car. You get a good car with a sunroof that matters to you. You get a decent safety suite. You get a 10-inch screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which you still don't in the Proton S70. And the car is built well, it looks good. Inside also is really impressive. A lot of space, a lot of practicality. This could be like your step-up car. After you are done with your Myvi and you want to step up to a sedan, this car could be it. And if you get it at 87K, wow, bro, you got a deal. You got a really, really good car. A lot of car for your money.